Always put your needs first. Yeah, go ahead, get an estimate from one of those big guy impersonal car repair chains.
No way!
Then bring it to Tommy and Charlie at Rivermont Pure. Chances are they'll beat their price and get your vehicle back on the road faster than you can say,
our customers come first.
Hi, this is Charlie.
And I'm Tommy, owners of Rivermont Pure. We're here to serve you.
Rivermont Pure, the auto repair guys. Featuring ethanol-free fuel. Located across from Rivermont Elementary on Hickson Pike. Rivermont, Chattanooga. Rivermont Pure.
Rivermont Pure, that's where I've always gone to get my car serviced. My husband and I trust Charlie and Tommy. They always treat us right and give us a fair price. And they get the job done right the first time. Thank you, Rivermont Pure.
Call 485-3375. That's 485-3375.
Are you tired of working in corporate America, or have you recently lost your job and would like to consider owning your own business? If you are, please call me, as I can help you look at franchises or business opportunities that fit you, the economy that we're in, and the type of businesses that are right in the greater Chattanooga area. After I help my clients find the right opportunity, I also help them find the best way to finance the business, including paying yourself through the startup phase. If you would like to learn more about opportunities that may be right for you, please call me for a free assessment. My name is Bruce Krebs at the Entrepreneur Source. Phone number is 423-875-5621.
Hi, this is your computer speaking. I don't feel so well. It's like I've come down with a bug, and I'm getting slower.
Affordable Computers. We fix sick computers. Your hometown guys at Affordable Computers will repair your PC in half the time of the big boys at an affordable price. No tricks, no gimmicks, no computer speak technobabble. Just good, quick, and courteous affordable service and repairs. Want to affordably supercharge your PC? Affordable Computers on Highway 58. Affordable Computers hand builds all desktops in-house. If you're looking for a better-than-new refurb laptop, $150 will get you a Dell or another name brand at Affordable Computers. Affordable Computers, Highway 58, between Arby's and Taco Bell. Also Fort O, Battlefield Parkway near Holcomb's. Affordable Computers, we service what we sell. Call 499-1975. That's 499-1975.
Wow, this is amazing. I'm feeling great. Supercharged.
Hot News Talk 1240.
If you have the DTs, the shakes, because your phone is on the fritz, you have nomophobia. You need help. Your telecom doctor is in. Cell Surgeon at Northgate Mall. Cell Surgeon yanks open the ribcage of your phone, pries out the dead heart, and puts in the beating life that you lead on your cell phone. Broken screen, phone not charging, water damage, battery given out? Cell Surgeon in Northgate Mall next to Old Chicago Pizza. Check us out on Facebook. Open Sunday. Cell Surgeon. We bring your phone back to life.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
You love your hometown. Are you interested in free markets, in local economy? Do you hope that Chattanooga can survive the next meltdown, the next chain of disasters in the national economy? What's the best way to live out the ideals of self-government and self-determination? Join me, David Toulis, weekdays 1 to 3.
Hot News Talk 1240.
Love your neighbor, buy local.
And we're back for the second half of Cowboy Up With Tex. You know, I know it seems kind of funny that I refer a lot to Texas, but I am originally from Texas, but also Texas seems to be in the news a lot. So I guess when you comprise such a large chunk of real estate in America, it's not surprising that a large chunk of the news in America comes from the Texas area. And of course, one thing to remember is there wouldn't be a Texas if there wasn't a Tennessee. Texas does indeed owe a lot to this great state of Tennessee, and I'd never forget that. Well, talking about Texas, in a surprising but welcome development to many concerned Texans, in fact, many concerned citizens throughout this whole country, Texas Governor Greg Abbott today called out the Texas State Guard to monitor President Obama's planned Operation Jade Helm 15 military exercises. This is a massive multi-state special warfare exercise set to start in July, although some preliminary exercises have already started, and set to run through September. It's prompted wide concern among residents of many states, both because of the lack of transparency and communications from the Obama administration, but also about concerns about possible nefarious actions that Jade Helm 15 might entail. There's been a lot of rumors circulating on what exactly Jade Helm 15 is supposed to be. And that's been part of the problem is when the rumor mill gets going, a lot of what you hear is going to sound pretty ridiculous. But at the same time, a lot of the stuff that you hear just might be true. And the problem is when people are doing something crazy, what better way to disguise it than to have it surrounded by a bunch of crazy rumors? Nobody knows what to believe. Well, that's where the military and the government are both falling down on the job because they are not being forthright. They are not being upfront with everybody, and it's got people rightfully nervous. In a letter sent on Tuesday, Governor Abbott asked Major General Jake Betty, who's the commander of the Texas State Guard, told him to monitor the operation and report back to the governor for the duration of the exercise. Citing Texas's long history of supporting military forces, Governor Abbott said he is taking this action to ensure Texans know their safety, their constitutional rights, their private property rights, and to make sure that their civil liberties will not be infringed. Governor Abbott took this action following a very contentious meeting in Bastrop, Texas this week, when Bastrop, a small town of about 7,000 people, which is the current epicenter for the Texas part of Jade Helm, and the community wanted to have a meeting to find out what was going on. Now, theoretically, the Army says that this is going to be a multi-state exercise so that the Army can learn how to infiltrate foreign nations and to remain inconspicuous. Now, here's the crazy part. First off, if you're training to infiltrate foreign countries and remain inconspicuous, are you going to do this in little itty-bitty towns where absolutely everybody knows absolutely everybody? Any strange person comes into town, much less somebody with crew cuts and big bulging biceps and whatnot, they're going to immediately know something is up. But yet, they're just training. There's been stockade-like structures that have been erected. Well, exactly who are they anticipating putting in these stockades? It's what the people are wanting to know. The people are wanting to know, the Third Amendment talks about quartering soldiers in people's houses. And also, you've got private property rights, and the Army's going to just waltz through people's property without asking permission. I mean, there's a lot of questions. My main question is this. We've been told time and time again by the federal government that they cannot put any of the military along the border to protect our border from all sorts of nefarious people coming across, whether it's just some itinerant farm picker, or whether it's cartel members, or whether it's ISIS. Oh, we can't do that. We can't guard the border. But we can sure put thousands of active duty soldiers in your backyard. I mean, right now, do you realize how much property, especially in the West, the federal government owns? They own like 80% of the state of Nevada. They own over 60% of the state of Utah. That's not enough room for them to do these exercises. They're going to be in the middle of states like Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico. They're going to have people in parts of Florida and Mississippi. I mean, give me a break. What's going on here? Because everything they say comes across weird. You know, there's been some disturbing rumors that actually Obama himself has not helped with. You know, some people are concerned about martial law being declared in some southwestern states. Well, when as part of the exercise, states like Texas and Oklahoma and New Mexico and Southern California are being declared hostile for purposes of these exercises, that doesn't bode well. I mean, you know, you're calling part of your own country hostile. Some people are concerned that the military is going to be used to confiscate firearms. Well, we all know that Obama will do everything he can to take weapons away from everybody. But the worst one is the rumors that troops from other nations, especially from Russia and China, are being brought in under a United Nations banner for training purposes inside our borders for potential future actions. And Obama himself has commented on that. We need to have Russian troops. We need to have Chinese troops on our soil doing military actions? I don't think so. One of the guys in Bastrop asked what was going to happen if the citizens were watching. What was going to happen if the citizens interfered? Well, I mean, you know, they're supposed to be training to be low-key, to be unobserved, to be able to infiltrate. Well, obviously, if the locals are watching you, you've done failed. Well, when asked about that, the lieutenant colonel who was doing the briefing in Bastrop kind of gave a mumbling thing about, well, we'll just approach that when and if it happens. Well, I can almost guarantee him it's going to happen. Trust of the federal government and of Obama specifically is at an all-time low in Texas. In particular, after his engineered border crisis last year that deliberately brought hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens, over a third of them criminals, across the Texas border. And though some see Abbott's move as mere lip service, it's interesting about his choice of using the Texas State Guard. This is a unit that few outside of the state of Texas have ever heard about, although I have. Basically, the State Guard is similar to the National Guard with one important distinction. The State Guard, which traces its lineage back to the local militias formed by Stephen F. Austin all the way back to 1823, is considered a backup for the National Guard. However, the State Guard only answers to the governor. The National Guard can be activated by the president if he wants to, and is answerable to the military and to the president. But the Texas State Guard is answerable only to the governor of Texas. So there won't be a conflict of interest there between the State Guard and the National Guard, between the State Guard and the state, whereas the National Guard might be ordered to lie or hide stuff from the governor. Well, as of the time of this report, the Texas State Guard has not announced any specifics on how they will staff or monitor the training exercise, but they do have a couple of months to come up with something. I mean, he was just assigned this position. So we'll report further details as they become available. But in the meanwhile, a big, huge attaboy to Governor Abbott for responding to the concerns of his citizens. And they're not alone. An all-time high of 87% of Americans simply do not trust their own government or mainstream media as truthful or credible. And this is among the reasons why. Well, a little bit of local news. Some interesting stuff turning up down in Catoosa County, just to our south, down in Ringgold. Troy Potter, a general contractor, just gave the Catoosa County Sheriff's Office $1,000 last year when it asked him to help build a firing range. He said it was a sound investment in public safety. After all, the range will sharpen Catoosa County deputies by preparing them for whatever evil lurks. When the Taliban hit, by God, I wanted to make sure that we can kick them in the you-know-what and push them back overseas. He said, I don't want to be throwing rocks at members of a group that might have automatic weapons. Well, Potter's donation was among 39 gifts totaling over $37,000 that the Sheriff's Office will be using to construct a new firing range, which will be used for law enforcement training only and will not be open to the general public. That's one thing that has really surprised me about out here is the real lack of good firing ranges. And I'm not talking about little firing ranges where you can go inside a little building and shoot, 25, 30 feet away, and it's air conditioned. I'm talking about a firing range where you get out there and you can sight in a rifle at 100 yards if you want to. Where you've got skeet, where you've got trap, where you can, shoot your shotgun and learn how to improve your aim and whatnot with shotguns and teach your kids. You just don't find those in this area, and as much hunting and sports as we've got in this area, it has really surprised me. Well, anyway, back to Catoosa. So Sheriff Gary Sisk said that rather than using county taxpayer money, he solicited donations for the project and dipped into his civil forfeitures fund, the money his department gets when it seizes property that investigators believe was tied to a crime. Well, now, wait a minute. It's either tied to a crime because somebody was convicted, or it's not. If they were not convicted of a crime, forfeitures need to be given back to the citizen that they were taken from. Civil forfeiture should only occur when somebody is convicted. Otherwise, it's just called legal theft. Well, anyway, Mr. Sheriff Sisk said that he wanted a firing range so his officers could train more often, which I understand. The problem right now is that although the department can use ranges for free at the Army National Guard training site in Ringgold and the Whitfield County Sheriff's Office, when you've got multiple groups trying to use the same range, there's going to be a hierarchy, and if it ain't your range, you're probably last on the list. And so Sheriff Sisk wants his own range so that his officers can learn. And that's good because, so many times you hear about these different groups where officers will pull down on a bad guy and they'll shoot 40 or 50 rounds and hit the guy once or twice. Where are all those other rounds going? Officers need to train consistently, and they need certain requirements on what they score or lose the ability to carry a gun. We don't want just anybody out there carrying a gun with the power of life and death, because the life they take might not be the bad guy if they don't know how to shoot straight. Didn't they have a movie named that? The Gang That Couldn't Shoot Straight? Well, we definitely don't want that to be the deputies down in Catoosa County. We want them to shoot straight. So, so overall, it's a good thing for them to be getting their own firing range. But talking about firing ranges, on the other part of that, the Department of Justice, or as is the usual case with government misnaming everything, it would, I guess, be the Department of No Justice, announced Friday that it is monitoring an Arkansas gun range on the grounds that it refuses to allow Muslims from shooting weapons at the facility. Okay, you remember, you see these little signs, the owner reserves the right to refuse anybody, no shoes, no shirt, no service. That goes to not only this, but also goes back to talking about the Christian bakers and whatnot. If it's my business, I can say who comes and does it. Anything else is just interference from the government. If you don't like that I don't let you do it, go start your own. It's kind of like smoking. I don't smoke, but at the same time, if somebody wants to start a bar and allow smoking in it, I have the right to not go to that bar, just as he has the right to only allow smokers in his bar. If I want to, I can start my own bar that's non-smoking. Well, anyway, this Arkansas gun range would not allow Muslims from shooting weapons at the facility. And the Department of No Justice is monitoring the matter. But, of course, they were not giving full information as to whether an actual investigation into the gun cave shooting range in Hot Springs, Arkansas, or its owner, Jan Morgan, is actually ongoing. It seems as though two advocacy groups requesting an investigation into the shooting range's anti-Muslim policy, one of which, the Council on American Islamic Relations, wrote to the department last year arguing that the range was systematically banning Muslims from a place of business. And that doing so was a violation of federal laws prohibiting racial and religious discrimination. Okay, let's see. I want somebody to go to a halal Muslim butcher shop and order a pork roast. You ain't going to get it. Well, no, they're discriminating against me because my religious preferences say that I can eat pork, and they're discriminating against me. But you will never see that. You will never see that. Anyway, not only that, but one interesting little side note about CAIR, the Council on American Islamic Relations, they have been condemned in several Mideastern countries like Egypt as being terrorist organizations. So, of course, they've got the DOJ's right ear. But the CAIR people said, we welcome this positive development and hope it leads to a thorough investigation of clear violations of the civil rights of American Muslims as those perceived to be Muslim by the gun range owner. Well, now, let's ask a quick question. If somebody walks into her store and they don't identify themselves as Muslim, how are they going to know? Shoot, you've seen the Duck Commander family. Everybody's got beards, especially in Arkansas. How are they going to know if you don't tell them? Also, the Arkansas chapter of the American Civil Liberties Union also asked for a federal investigation. But Ms. Morgan said she is ready to handle whatever the DOJ can throw at her. She wrote on her website over the weekend that she's been under the watchful eyes of federal law enforcement authorities for a long time because of years of death threats from Muslims. I have nothing to hide. I have no secrets from the federal government. And she is ready to handle a federal investigation if one is ultimately launched against her, saying, I was prepared to fight this from day one. In fact, I will close my business before I will make any compromises that could jeopardize the safety and security of the members who shoot here. I will continue to follow the advice of 2 agencies within the Department of Justice to protect and defend my own life as well as the lives of innocent American citizens in my presence from any and all threats of violence connected to and are associated with any and all terrorist organizations. Maybe she needs to include the DOJ in that. She said anything less would be irresponsible, reckless, and life-threatening. Ms. Morgan had declared her gun range to be a Muslim-free zone last September. You know, many people thought that she would suffer a backlash in the form of reduced sales following the announcement. However, business soared despite the threat of a lawsuit or government involvement. In fact, if you go right now to like the Sportsman's Warehouse or Gander Mountain or, any number of different companies that sell shooting equipment, at basically all of them, you can find targets right now to shoot at, some of which are zombies. Literally, they have little pictures of zombies that you can shoot at. Of course, they've got the regular target, but they also have targets that look like Muslims. The turban, the beard, holding a knife ready to cut somebody's head off. Well, now, according to the DOJ, shouldn't those be illegal? I mean, get real. That's the problem. The government keeps intruding where the government has absolutely no right to be. And the problem is that most people don't say anything about it. They're just like, well, I'm just glad it's not me. But somebody has to stand up and say, bring it. Like Ms. Morgan. That is her business, not the government's. And the government needs to stay out of her business. So thank you for listening to another day of Cowboy Up with Tex. See y'all tomorrow.